Hi and welcome to MIND123. I'm Chantal and I'm here today with Keri Krieger. Welcome back, Keri.
Thank you.
Now, interesting subject today, one that I admittedly know nothing about because you're going to talk to us all about Chinese medicine.
I know.
So, a big subject.
It's massive.
This is your area of expertise. So tell us, what is Chinese medicine?
Okay, so 3,000 years of art and science in a few short sentences. Here we go. It is really an ancient art and health science. So it's a way of looking at the entire human as we are, and not only our health in the sense that we would look at health in as much as feeling like we've got lots of energy, making sure our organs are all doing the bits and pieces that they should be doing, and that our skin is healthy and glowing and that we're feeling great, but also, you know, the whole art of it really looks at us as we live within our environment as well. So it's an incredibly broad topic and science. It looks at everything from how we sleep to how we're thinking and how we're feeling even. So where do we start?
Well, the question that I have for you is, you mentioned that it also has to do with the environment and stuff. So is that the effect that the environment has on us as humans, or that we have on the environment?
Well, look, realistically both.
Yeah.
But I guess it's looking at more from a kind of cyclical, seasonal point of view. So, for example, with our foods, you know, eating foods that are in, you know, the actual season that we're currently in, being able to take into effect that it's really hot, so we might need to eat cooling foods. From the Eastern point of view, we really look at things from a point of view of whether it's hot or cold, yin or yang. So there's all these very different ways of looking at our health and the way our organs work, and we use all these strange words like wind and damp. Like, what on earth does that mean exactly? Sticking with that food topic, it's most easy to look at foods that help to create dampness, and that can be a good and a bad thing. So, for example, people who can't eat milk and those kinds of foods, it's because it helps to create that sense of dampness in us that you would see as coughs and colds, for example.
Okay, so that's how it relates.
Yeah.
And you said dampness. What was the other word that you used?
Wind or cold. So wind, you know, it's such a it's such an incredible science. But so wind, you would feel and experience as a sense of tightness, tension, joint pains. It's a strange and fabulous art.
And earlier you also said the words yin and yang. Can you explain that for anyone that doesn't understand that terminology?
Oh my goodness. So yin and yang really is at the heart of the science itself. So it's looking at the night and day, hot and cold, light and dark. It's all of those different opposites that then meld and meet to create the entire world that we're seeing and experiencing, and within our health as well. So yin and yang exists on a kind of line, one on either end, and everything else happens in between those two extremes. You would experience yin in that sort of nighttime, and you would experience yang in the sort of daytime, where we want to be active, things are warm, things are happening, in that more yin, quiet, still time. And we really need both of those elements in our world. So often I would talk to clients about that in terms of the fact that life is really yang, and we don't have a lot of that quiet stillness that we actually really need to refuel, making sure that we have enough sleep, making sure that we have enough quiet time. You know, there's just lots of importance placed on that go, go, go.
Yeah. So any of us who maybe have a busy schedule, a high intensity exercise routine, we're looking after kids, we've got all that going on, so that means that we're quite heavily playing in that yang element.
Yeah.
So do you find quite often that when clients come to you, what you're doing is saying,
I say
you really need to go.
We need a lot of this more quiet time yin element, and so you can kind of people hear that, then they go, oh yeah, it's all yang, it's all go go go, and it's all fierce and fast, and it's great in its place, but it needs to be a little more balanced.
Okay, so when I think about Chinese medicine, things or words that come to mind for me are things like acupuncture or herbs. Can you delve a little bit more then into the treatment side of things?
The treatment side, yeah, and this is really where most people will hear of these things first. They go and they're not able to sleep, or they've got a sore joint, or they've played golf and they're knees sore or something, and they will go and have a treatment, and that will actually involve lying down on a treatment table. Points will be used to take away the pain, to increase the flow of qi. So there's another wonderful word.
I'm going to need a glossary of terms from you after this.
It's going to need to be. It's a whole different language. Yeah, so and it's a very calming experience.
Yep.
If you've had treatments, it's a really peace. You might feel a little bit nervous at first, certainly when it's a new and strange experience, but it's a very calming experience.
Yeah, and so go back and tell me, what's the definition of qi?
Qi, energy, basically. We would experience that in whether we're feeling like we've got lots of energy, we've got lots of qi. From an Eastern perspective, we take the organ pulses that we're going to dip down a whole other new rabbit hole.
You've got to tell us what that is. You take the organ pulses.
Organ pulses, and it really is where the art meets the science of it all. So there's actually 12 organ pulses that we feel and read and sense.
So when you say that, you mean like normally we might feel the pulse of our heart?
Yeah.
So what other
it's felt in the same place, but there's actually a pulse placement for each and every organ in the body.
Wow.
I know. Okay. So I would talk to you, we would have a chat, you would tell me that you played golf and your knee was sore and perhaps you weren't sleeping very well. I would then take these the pulses, and they would give me what I liken it as a fuel tank readout.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So I would, and it takes time and experience to learn this. It really is a whole art on itself, but it gives me a lot of extra feedback around what's going on with your health.
Yeah. So when you say that you have a look at that and that's that fuel gauge, is it things like are we talking about things like looking at your liver and your
liver, kidney, heart, lungs, spleen even.
So by taking that pulse that you refer to, it's going to give you a bit of a gauge on each of those areas.
Absolutely.
Okay. And are you taking? We're getting into the nitty gritty. I know. This is fascinating. So are you putting your fingers there and taking a pulse? And you can differentiate between...
I know. And this is why I really call it an art, because it's, it really can sound like it's all a bit too strange, to be honest, and I absolutely get that. So it's something that I will share with clients. This is what I'm doing. I'm not just holding your hand and looking wistfully into your eyes. This is what I'm doing. It really doesn't have to make sense to you. Trust me on it.
As long as you know. Yeah. Oh, that's fascinating.
I mean, it really is fascinating.
Okay, so you've taken their pulse. Then what other, and we've talked about acupuncture as well. Let's talk about the herb side of things. So how do the herbs then relate to our health?
Absolutely. So again, there's so many different ways you can work with them, but in that same way, taking the pulse, having a chat to you, getting really clear around what's going on, and choosing the herbs that then are going to work with that, to clear up that dampness, to nourish that yin, for example, and that is, I mean, it's a whole extraordinary science unto itself.
Tell me this. I know that the Chinese medicine that you're talking about obviously, can be used for many, many different things. What are some of the common things that people come to you for? Some of the common symptoms that they come to you for? Is it because they want to fall pregnant? Is it because they're going through menopause? Like, what are some of those common ones?
Those two are two very, very big
high
ones.
On the list.
Yeah, absolutely high on the list. And people who can't sleep, they're in pain, they're experiencing joint pain, neck and shoulder tension, all of those kind of general aches and pains and things that just, for whatever reason, once upon a time I would see people and they would have just tried absolutely everything, but now, as you've just said, there's lots of news out there that helps to bring people to these treatments well and truly before it's their last tried treatment.
Yeah, their last option. Not leaving it to the last option anymore. Wow, that's so fascinating. So do you have any stories that you can share with us, or give us an example of someone who's maybe come to you for treatment and the process and also the time that it's taken them to go from presenting to you in, you know, whatever the case may be, to having consultations, to having treatment, to then, you know, hopefully feeling well. And feeling well again. Can you take us through an example or a process of someone that may have done that?
Absolutely. So what I suggest first up is to probably have a treatment once a week, once a fortnight, because you then get to really see and feel how that treatment takes effect in your week, whether you're experiencing less pain or less sleep or more of a sense of calm. People will often come feeling quite anxious. And then it's about having a look at how long that health situation has already been in place. So if it's something that you've been dealing with for 6 months or a year or sometimes even more, unfortunately it's not likely that it's going to be instantly fixed. I'm always after the instant fix.
We all are.
I get it.
We all are.
But what will happen is that it might take 6 months of treatment, say, and it might be once a fortnight for a while, once a month after that. But what happens toward the end of that actual treatment goal that you've come for, there's lots of other little things that start to improve along the way that you didn't even think to ask about because your focus was this big health issue. So people will come and they will say, oh look, my knee's still sore, but I actually really had a good night's sleep for the first time in ages. Or I had this funny other twingy thing happening here and it seems to have gone away. Do you think that could be from the treatment? Or I've been feeling a bit stressed. I didn't think acupuncture could deal with stress, but I'm not feeling so stressed today, you know. So there'll be lots of other little things that will happen along the way.
Bonuses along the way.
Yeah, that are really beautiful signposts that we're on the way, that we haven't reached that big health goal that's been, that has taken quite a long time to happen, but we're on the way, and there are signposts that your overall health is starting to improve.
And let me ask you a question that might be a little bit controversial, but how does Eastern medicine work in with Western medicine?
Beautifully. And this is something that is has been great to see over the last 18 or so years, is that once upon a time it really was one camp or the other. You know, and it's really not that way at all anymore. And the other really beautiful thing about acupuncture is that it's not, if you are taking or under a course of treatment, it's not going to affect other different drugs or treatment practices that you're having and experiencing. So the two can work really well together.
So it's quite a complementary.
Very complementary.
So I guess the message, tell me if I'm correct in saying that, the message is if someone has been suffering from, you know, some type of sickness or illness, and perhaps they have been having traditional Western medicine for a while, there's no reason why they can't try some of these therapies that you're talking about.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
They could in fact help them, and by the sounds of it, not help them just only in that one larger focus that they're trying to do, but as you say, in all of those other areas of their life as well.
Absolutely.
And do you find that someone that is maybe starts off with a healthy lifestyle, do they generally find it easier to get the effectiveness from the treatment?
Absolutely.
Does lifestyle factors play a role in this?
Absolutely. And it's important to meet people where they're at, but certainly there will be, lifestyle elements brought into the treatment. So if you're dealing with health issues to do with gut function or food allergies or skin issues that might be fed by different foods that you're eating, we'll certainly have a chat about
that. Take that into account.
You know, but we have to work with what we've got at the start, you know, and meet people where they're at.
Excellent. Keri, this has been such an eye-opener for me today. I feel like I've learnt so much about Chinese medicine. I'm so grateful for you coming along today.
It's an absolute pleasure. It's a passion to talk about.
I can tell you're so passionate about it. I think we could have spoken for hours, but thank you so much. It's been absolutely fascinating.
Pleasure.